Welcome to the Spicks and Specks Reunion Special, the music quiz show that's celebrating Oz Music Month by getting the band back together. That's right, we are now one step closer to John Farnham on the comeback scoreboard. Our first team captain is an actor and comedian who's been cryogenically frozen for the past 7 years, so he has no idea who our last 4 Prime Ministers were. Please welcome back Alan Brough. Second team captain can be heard every day on ABC Radio and has spent the last 7 years absolutely killing it at her local pub music trivia night. Would you please welcome back Miff Warhurst? Alan's first guest tonight is a singer, songwriter and TV presenter who had the top 20 singles Wiggle It and Can't Touch It, which is confusing because if you wiggle it, people are going to want to touch it. Would you please welcome Ricky Lee? Alan's second team member is a writer and legendary Aussie comedian who's just had an extremely successful reunion with his old comedy partner. A reunion? How desperate's that? Please welcome back Frank Woodley! Miff's first guest tonight is one half of the Indigenous rap group AB Original, whose first solo EP, Homemade Bombs, is great to listen to on a plane as long as you don't wear the T-shirt. Please welcome Briggs! Miff's final guest tonight is a comedian who's just like a fine wine, not because she gets better with age, but because it's not a good party without her. Would you please welcome Denise Scott? I can't believe it's been 7 years since our last episode and 15 minutes since it was last shown on ABC Comedy. All right, I was going to ask you guys what you've been up to in the last 7 years, but instead I'm going to pose the question this way. What song or song lyric best sums up the last 7 years? For me, it's Leonard Cohen, The Tower of Song, and the lyrics are, my friends are all gone and my hair is grey, I ache in the places that I used to play.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about your play places.
All right, I think it has to be the Pina Colada song, because I've been drinking cocktails and keeping my options open.
Tonight, we're going to be just like every Aussie pub gig you've ever been to. You'll stick to the carpet, get beer spilt on your pants, and we'll all wake up in bed tomorrow morning with Brian Mannix.
Again and again.
I'm going to pose this question, and mainly I'm going to say it to Briggs and Ricky Lee. What song or songs make you know you're home? When you've been away, when you turn on the radio and you hear an Oz song?
Anything by Shannon Knoll. They don't play him anywhere else.
I'm from the Gold Coast and I still find it fascinating every single time, still to this day, that I go back to the Gold Coast. You get in the car at Coolangatta Airport and you turn on the radio and Run to Paradise is on every single time.
Oh my God.
I swear to God. Move on.
No, don't move on.
It's just in our blood, that song. I mean, I know for me, my brother and I, Simon, he bought the single and he was playing it a lot.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time my cousin Edwina came over with her new baby, and just as she came in, Simon went, "Baby!" Ever since then, every time if we just see a baby, it's a race to see who'll be the first one to go, "Baby!"
Alan and Miff are going to choose one topic between them, but any team can answer the questions. And since it's our Oz Music Special, your choices tonight are Aussie music, Aussie music, Aussie music, or Fozzie music.
That is very good.
I have no idea what any of these are.
The first one is music from Australia. The other three are all puppets being operated.
Is that the guy that ate a bat?
Yeah.
Yes, Daryl Summers ate a bat. All right, should we just go with Australian music?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. Right now there's some Muppet nerd at home going, but what about the music of Fozzie Bear? All right, everyone on your buzzers, let's play Spicks and Specks. Your first question for 1 point. Who was the first Australian-born artist to win a Grammy and famously thanked God during her acceptance? Oh, yes?
Olivia Newton-John.
No, I'm going to read the rest of the question to you guys. Famously thanked God during her acceptance speech, saying, because she makes everything possible.
Miss Helen Reddy.
Helen Reddy it is. First point to
Unlike you, Brian, I went off too early.
For 2 points, I need the artist responsible for the first Indigenous language album to debut at #1 on the ARIA charts and the unusual way that artist played their guitar. Yes.
Gurumul.
Yes.
And left-handed? Like upside down?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Gurumul and he played a right-handed guitar with his left hand upside down. For 3 points, name these 2 artists and for another point, what they have in common with this dessert. Yes.
The one on the left
Yes.
is Dame Nellie Melba.
Yes.
And the thing in the middle
Yes.
is the Peach Melba.
Yes.
And that's Courtney Barnett.
Yes.
And...
Hang on, hold on. I'll go to you if they don't get it.
He was in the middle of a sentence.
I think Alan's sentence had dot at the end of it.
What I was
Her
trying to
guitar's
do was
the same
say
way.
her name
Yep.
and then get some sort of inspiration from it.
I'm going to check with this side, yes?
Her Instagram handle is Courtney Melba because...
Her middle name is Melba.
There it is. That's
Got it. The social stuff.
I think we get...
You got 2 points.
We got 2 points.
2 points for Alan's team, 1 point to Miff's team. Dame Nellie Melba got the nickname Melba because she came from Melbourne.
Oh,
Never, I know, I only found that out this week. Thank God she didn't come from, like, Gippsland way. She could have been Dame Nellie Poowong.
That's an embarrassing Instagram handle.
For 4 points. Have a look at these images from some modern musicals. I need the 4 Antipodean artists who wrote the music for each of them. Miff.
Top one is Eddie Perfect, and that is from Beetlejuice.
Uh-huh.
That one there is Matilda,
Tim
which is
Tim Minchin.
Minchin.
Yes.
and the pink one is Muriel's Wedding, Kate Miller-Heidke.
Yes. And the bottom one on the right-hand side.
Chicago.
No. I'm going to throw it over.
Ladies in Black and it's Tim Finn.
Yes, it is Ladies in Black and it's Tim Finn. Well done, Alan.
And said with the right accent as well.
Oh, thanks.
Finally, for 5 points. Have a listen to these 5 Australian covers of Aussie songs. Wait to the end. I need the original artist of each song.
I was only 19.
Yes, Alan.
OK, so the first one was...
Island
Christine Anu.
Yes, but I need the original artist of each song because they're all cover versions.
Oh. Don't look at me like that.
OK, I won't look at you like that.
Don't know.
I'll look at you like this.
The second one was Moving Pictures.
Moving Pictures,
Yes.
saying What About Me? That was the Shannon Knoll version. Yes, Alan.
The third one was Red Gum.
I Was Only 19 by The Herd. Yes.
And the ones after that are of great interest to me,
I
Rove.
don't have the originals for those.
No, sorry, we've got nothing.
Okay, you got 2. I'm going to throw them over.
First one, Neil Murray, Warumpi Band.
Warumpi Band sang My Island Home originally. Yes. There.
Easy Beats saying I'll Make You Happy.
Yes, correct. It was the Divinals doing that version, but the Easy Beat sang the original.
And
It's
the last...
Because I Love You.
Yeah, it's the Master's Apprentices.
Masters Apprentices, yes, well done.
Yeah.
3 points to this side, 2 points to Alan's side. Over the last few years, we sadly lost some members of the Spicks and Specks family, one of whom was the man who sang Because I Love You, Jim Keys. I mean, Jim was such a part of Australian rock and roll and such a part of Spicks and Specks as well. I'm assuming you've toured with Jim Keys throughout the years. Can you tell us anything about Jim Keys on TV that's appropriate?
Yes, I can. Well, I was a big fan of Jim Keys when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And Master's Apprentices. And then I got to do a gig in Warrnambool with Jim and with Russell Morris and Leo Sayer. And the guy had a Learjet from Essendon Airport. And so we're in the Learjet and there's Jim and Russell sitting there and me and Leo sitting here and we're having a drink and flying through the sky. And I just thought to myself, wow, if somebody had told me when I was 15 that I'm going to be in a Learjet with Jim Keys and Russell Morris and Leo Sayer, wow, what a day. I was just had to pinch myself. It was fantastic.
I mean, how often does anyone tell a story about taking a Learjet to Warrnambool?
Yeah, how long's the flight from Melbourne to Warrnambool?
Well, this is the beauty, because I lived just near Essendon Airport. So when we left Warrnambool, we flew home and I was sitting in my chair in my lounge room 25 minutes after we took off.
That is living your best life right, Danny.
And look, last year we also sadly lost conductor, music educator and the founder of Victorian Opera, Richard Gill, who was a huge part of our show and a big believer also in music and education. In fact, the ARIA Music Teacher of the Year award was dedicated to Richard Gill this year, and I know you're an ambassador for that award. And I know that also music played a huge part in your education and schooling as well. How important do you think it is for kids to have that music knowledge early on?
Oh my gosh, so important. Yeah, we had a really great music program at my school, and I used to go into the music school, which was a separate building, every single chance I got, and they had these little soundproof booths with a little piano in them, and that's where I started writing songs, and I'd just pour my heart out every recess and lunch. I didn't have many friends, obviously, and I actually wrote the first song on my first album I wrote when I was 15 in year 10 for a class assignment, All for Believing.
Wow.
Yeah. And it won Triple J Unearthed a couple of years later too.
How did it go at school?
I think I got an A.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did really
Just
well.
thinking, you know, I might have got an F at school.
No, that would have been a better story.
At my boarding school, we had one soundproof room, and the punk band that I was in used to rehearse in there, and we just thought we were great. And we'd go in there at lunchtime and recess because we didn't have any friends either and write what we just thought were amazing songs. And we put on a gig at school. Now, this is a boarding school. Like, you live there. And we put on this gig and no one turned up. 105 people essentially lived at the gig and no one came.
I'm interested to know what the name of your punk band was.
Abortion on Demand. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's why no one turned up.
No, because... Wait a minute. So wait a minute. So at lunchtime, there's a sign saying, at lunchtime, abortions by demand.
No, it wasn't at lunchtime. We're not idiots. It was after school.
After school?
It was after school.
Did they know it was a band, though?
I don't... Well, actually, I never really thought of that.
Rock band.
Was it a co-ed school?
Asterisk.
No, it wasn't a co-ed school. It was a boys-only school.
Needed abortion.
No, I suppose no one did need abortion.
Effective was it?
We're getting away from the point. We weren't doing abortion.
Anyway...
We were so shit.
Richard told you a story, though, that we ended up not having on the show. What was that about?
Richard and I shared a number of things in common, but one of them is that we've got the full Oxford English Dictionary. We were talking about that, and he said he was a real pedant about spelling. And he said he was somewhere on a regional tour with Victorian Opera, and he went into a fish and chip shop, and on the board, they had spelt snapper incorrectly with one P instead of two. And he said to the woman who ran the fish and chip shop, excuse me, you've spelt snapper incorrectly. And she said, why don't you off? And he said, I thought there was a fair point, and went and waited outside for my... I really liked the idea that he did all he could, and then he left it with her.
Yes. For her to enjoy her snaper.
Well, the love for Richard Gill was evident in his last days last year when around 70 musicians, including members of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, gathered in front of Richard's house and they played a selection of his favourite songs as he lay inside in bed, and this is what it looked like.
Look, I don't want to be that guy. As beautiful as that is, I hope that was his car that was parked there. Because you don't want to be that guy who's like, I'm so sorry. Can I just... I'm really into this, but I've got to get to the shops. And then the kids, I've got to pick up the kids. I'll get an Uber.
All right, at the end of the first round, Alan, Missy, Rover on 7 points. Miff, Brian, Nina in front, 8 points. The next round tonight is called Smells Like 90s Wardrobe. Ooh. Each team is going to be shown outfits worn by different musicians during one of their 90s world tours. You have to name the performer. Ooh. Alan, your team is first.
OK.
Here is your first tour outfit, modelled by comedian Dave O'Neill. Oh.
Is this any way to treat a legend of Spicks and Specks? Seriously?
I don't know where to look.
It looks like he smuggled part of a bike in the bike shorts.
Rock and roll! I'm getting the character. Hang on a minute. Rock and roll, dude, yeah!
We're going to go out on a limb.
Yeah. You know what? I knew who he was straight away, but I feel like I need more clues.
Hang on, I need a slash.
Oh, God.
Can we put him out of his misery?
Yeah, put him out of it.
Who is it?
Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses.
Let's have a look.
Oh!
Yes, it's Axl Rose, so you got a point for that. 1 point for Alan's team.
Okay.
All right, Dave, stay there for the moment.
Make it stop.
I can't. I'm not going to make it stop. I'm going to make it get even better. Here is your second outfit, Alan, Tina, Tom, modelled by the one and only Denise Scott.
Awesome.
Adam Ant's turned up, everyone.
What I love is you were getting into character back there. I got nothing.
Come on, you got stuff.
You've got quite a lot going on there.
Quite a bit going on.
Wow.
Tina.
Yeah.
You, me, same.
You were such a visual inspiration to me.
Are you talking about...
Denise, or...?
Like, it's getting really weird now.
Do you know who the artist is?
I'm struggling here. I'm just fucking and prodding.
This is you in 20 years, Tina.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can, Ellen Brough.
If you were to be on, say, a battleship, whereabouts would you sit?
I would sit on a sailor. And I am so desperately trying to hold in my stomach. I just got no air left to answer with.
Do you want to lend to that?
That's,
Chicken legs.
Oh, no!
I'm going to ask you to have a guess.
Yeah.
So it's Cher.
Let's have a look at who the artist is.
I can't believe you didn't get that.
It's Janet Jackson.
I am Devo, like that. I know.
Can I just say there are a number of ways that was confusing, Denise?
Yeah.
Can you put your hand up if you thought she was Cher?
Everyone.
Well, you're all idiots.
All right, your final touring artist is from Tripod. It's Scott Edgar.
How's your career going, Hilsey? Mine's going great.
I think this is a triumph for all of us.
This is good.
This looks like the worst Madame Tussauds ever.
Do you know where to look now, Tina?
Yeah, I'm looking. And I'm saying to myself, by God, you've done an incredible job.
Thanks. It's all stretched backwards. I'm not going to turn around.
Can you give us a twirl?
No, if you want to see... Go round. Go round if you want to see what's back there.
Well, let's just get this over and done with.
Yes, who do you think it is?
Well, it's obviously Madonna.
Aha! No, it's Weird Al Yankovic as Madonna.
Yeah, it is Madonna. Let's have a look. Yes, there it is. That is Madonna. Scott Edgar absolutely pulling that off. All right, these guys are going to come back later in the show because it's going to take a while to get changed. But for now, would you please give a round of applause? Dave O'Neill's Teams have to identify the songs being played live in the studio. Tonight, your songs will be played by some Nokia mobile phones. Yes, we have 5 2000-era mobile phones, each one with a different annoying ringtone that was a popular song at the time.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to phone each one. You need to buzz in if you think you can name the song. All right, team.
Well, I'm getting a Crazy Frog vibe.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
All right, hands on your buzzers. Dialing the first one now. Oh, yes.
It's Coldplay.
Yes.
Viva la Vida.
Viva la Vida! That's what I'm looking for. Yes, well done.
It's not often that a ringtone can sound better than the original song.
Well, I was about to say... I'm so used to this game, having a band over here, that I was literally about to go, all right, phones, songs. All right, here's the second one. There we go, dialing. Ho!
Am I not pretty enough?
Yes, Casey Chambers, correct.
Wow.
Right, here we go, song 3. There it is.
Oh.
Yes.
It's the Postal Service.
Yes.
Something. Such Great Heights.
Such Great Heights by the Postal Service.
I love that record as well.
Okay, here we go. Dialing up the next one.
Yeah, that's everyone. It's
Crazy by Niles Barkley.
Wow.
Yes, correct.
Some poor drug dealer's missing all his burner phones over there. Very quiet night at work.
And yet Adam's got all of their numbers.
Final song.
I'm going out on a limb and saying it wasn't a hit.
Listen to the chorus. This is the chorus.
Oh, is that me? Is that me?
Oh, hang on. This buzzer went off first. Yes.
It is. It's Jet. Roll Over DJ?
It's Roll Over DJ by Jet.
Just say that when you said that you were wasted for most of this decade, I sort of didn't believe you.
No, we mean it.
I sang that last night too.
To be fair...
I'm not sure which line I enjoyed more. You saying, was that me? Or Alan saying, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't a hit. At the end of that round, the scores are Alan, Ella, Joel on 9 points. Miff, Nick, Sarah, just in front, 10 points. 3 well-known musicians will each tell a story about an incident that happened in their career, but one of them isn't telling the truth. Teams have to identify the lie. Miff, your team is first. Your storytellers are legendary Spiderbait drummer Cram, soul, pop and jazz virtuoso Kate Sobrano, and country singing star Troy Cassar-Daley. Troy, we're going to start with your story first.
Look, I was part of a huge contingency of Australian country music artists back in 1996. We went to Nashville together and we had the really odd night off that we normally wouldn't get. We ended up at a bar downtown in Nashville and we ended up on a mechanical bull in this competition. Myself, Lee Kernaghan and Tommy Emmanuel. And Tommy fell awkwardly in the last round and actually hurt his finger. The next night, he couldn't even play the last showcase, believe it or not. So it was a tragedy all round. But we came second and we were very happy.
All right, Kate, your tale, please.
OK, so it's 1989 and I'm in Monaco at the World Music Awards. And I'm part of a huge, big, fancy affair. And Grace Jones is performing and I'm standing over on the side of stage and I'm watching her and she is going off. And she does this thing with her hair. She's got a hairpiece and she's doing this thing. And her hairpiece fell off and landed in my lap. And she didn't stop for a minute. She just grooved over to the side of stage, took the hairpiece and stuck it back on her head.
OK. Graham, your story.
OK, my story, we were playing at the big day out in the 90s and Nine Inch Nails were playing. And so we did our set and then we went up to try to watch Nine Inch Nails and they wouldn't let us on stage, so we watched it from the side. And Trent Reznor is smashing his keyboard player over the head with his microphone. Then he got stuck into his drummer. There's free-for-all. I'd never seen a band actually punch each other up. Then they stormed off stage, really angry, and then they went into their band room and then they picked up all their furniture and they trashed up the band room, destroying it. But this was IKEA garden furniture. That shit is not breakable. Then they kept bouncing up and hitting him in the head. So, IKEA won, 90 Nails won.
So, you've got to work out which of these stories is a lie. Is Troy's bucking Bronco story a load of bull? Did Kate just come up with Grace Jones's wig story off the top of her head? Was Cram's story about 9 Inch Nails a 50-foot fib?
I'm just trying to connect with Troy on an Indigenous level. I'm just telepathically...
What are you getting?
Troy wouldn't lie to us.
I just want Trent Reznor to be the man who's throwing plastic chairs. What year was it again, Cram?
I think it was 97. It's a long time ago.
Are you going to question whether IKEA had plastic furniture back then?
The problem with, playing this game with rock stars is with most normal people you go, hang on, your facts don't stand up, I reckon you're lying. But with the rock star you go, your facts don't stand up, there are so many reasons that could be happening.
I don't know Tommy, of course, but wouldn't he play even if he had a broken finger? Can you play a guitar if you've got a broken finger?
Tommy Emmanuel can. He'd get his tongue involved or something. He can do anything.
I'm not sure about the landing of the hairpiece in the lap.
The
it's
trajectory.
so specific, isn't
She
it?
must have been really whipping.
But I have had that happen, though. I have whipped my hair and a piece has come out and it's gone flying.
And did it land in Kate Sobrano's...
Who's lying? Who do you think?
You lied to us, Cram.
Yeah, all right.
Everything's back to front with Cram. Apparently his name's really Mark. I had a friend who did the same thing, but his name was Otto, so it wasn't as effective.
All right, Miff.
I want Crams to be true, but I feel like it might not be.
All right, let's see which of our guests is a dirty, rotten liar.
For your spiritual telepathy.
It was off. The ABC blocked it somehow.
Would you please thank Troy Cassar-Daley, Kate Sobrano and Cram? Alan?
Yes?
Your three storytellers are opera soprano supremo Antoinette Halloran, Aussie rock legend Russell Morris, and singer-songwriter and member of Something for Kate, Paul Dempsey.
Are there any musos doing gigs tonight?
No, just Shannon Knoll. Paul, let's start with you. What's your story?
Well, I was on tour in Europe and I was singing for David Bowie's band. And we got to Berlin, we checked into the hotel, and I crashed on the bed for a couple of hours. And when I woke up, I was covered in bedbug bites. So I went downstairs to the concierge and I explained, I was like, I just had a nap, I'm like covered in these bites, and he just thought I was making the whole thing up. So I went back up to my room and I was, getting stuff out of bags, and I smashed a glass table. So then I had to go down and explain that I'd broken the table, but it was an accident, and he wasn't having that either.
Russell, what's your story?
In 1973, I was over in England recording an album. We were going to do the first half there and then go to New York and finish it off. While we were recording, there was a call from reception, and I picked up the phone, said, you've got a call. It's Buckingham Palace. So I got on the line, and the person from Buckingham Palace said, listen, we were wondering what you're doing in October because Princess Anne and Captain Mark Phillips are getting married. And Princess Anne is a big fan of The Real Thing. And I said, well, I'll have to get back to you because I'm supposed to be in New York. So I rang up the record producer for me in New York and said, I need to take this week because I've been asked to do the royal wedding. And then he said, we can't take it off because that's the only week we can get. So I had to ring up and tell him I couldn't do it.
Antoinette, your tale.
Okay. Well, the last opera I was in at the Opera House was by Shostakovich. And basically the premise of the opera is a guy goes to the barber accidentally cuts his nose off, and the nose disappears, and he spends the rest of the opera looking for his own nose. So he goes to this crowded market scene, and I'm a pretzel seller in the market scene. But unfortunately the word for pretzel in Russian is bubliki. And I had one word to sing in this opera, and it was bubliki, bubliki, bubliki. Anyway, so he catches my eye in the marketplace, and I fancy him, so I lay him down and I root him senseless. And anyway, I popped the poppers on my skirt, and I knew they'd popped. Then the police come in and start chasing me, and I start running and...
Hold on. Is this in the opera?
Yeah, and then the guy with no nose starts chasing me. And then the whole chorus start chasing me. And then the nose appears, and now it's life-size, and it's tap dancing. And I'm holding onto my skirt, and I know my mum's in the audience, and she's seen me root a guy. She's seen me yell boo-blicky, and now I think I don't want her to see my undies.
So, is Paul's story about bedbugs with the Bowie band in Berlin a load of bollocks? Is Russell's story about Princess Anne the real thing or the full of crap thing? Is Antoinette's story about a runny nose snot true?
I was in another Shostakovich opera, and I had to just say the word corn chip all the time, and it just happens to be that the word for corn chip in Russian is Dicky Fondle. I just had to sing that over and over and over. It was my mum was there, and
hotels are notorious for having bed bugs. I was just reading a book about bed bugs, and let's just gloss over that, all right? And hotels are notorious for having bed bugs, so that is well within the bounds of possibility.
I reckon he did do the Royals gig. That's what I reckon.
Oh, you reckon he did?
I reckon he's twisted the story around, but I reckon he really actually did do it. That's my feeling. I was just like, it rose up in me like some kind of...
Let's do it. Let's go with it.
I think we go...
Yes,
so,
okay.
yeah, the person who is lying is Russell Moran.
Oh, that's not fair.
Let's find out.
Is the story completely made up?
Written by the show.
So you know what that means? That means Antoinette's story was completely true. Would you please thank Paul Dempsey, Russell Morris and Antoinette Hayden? After that round, Alan, Ricky Lee and Frank have got a point back there on 4, but Miff, Briggs and Denise are still out in front. 10 points. Round 5 is called Word Up. Teams have to identify a popular Australian song after hearing some key words from the song's lyrics. Buzz in when you think you know it, but if you get it wrong, the next couple of words will go to the other team. OK, Watch this video, see if you can guess the first song as read by some very special guests.
Hard.
Wait.
Drink.
Fat. Boy.
Yes. Are you doing the dream on my...
Yeah, is that it?
No.
No.
All right, you guys get the next couple of words.
Okay.
Keep going.
Wait.
Wait and wait.
Tomorrow.
Oh, Silverchair. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow by Silverchair. Yes, correct. Next song, please.
Hazy.
Delusion.
Confusion.
People.
Think.
Crazy.
Yes.
I'm just thinking Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs.
Yeah.
Most people I know think that I'm crazy.
Yes, that's the one.
That is the biggest triumph I have had for about 7 years. I thought of something.
All right, next song, please.
Dignified.
Yes.
Torn, Natalie Imbruglia.
Oh my goodness, let's keep watching and see if you were right.
Fortune.
Yes!
Cold.
Yes, you are.
Illusion. Torn.
Yes, it's torn.
I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but just before this round, Ricky Lee said, I'm just going to have to start pulling my weight more. I've unzipped my skirt. That's worked. That was amazing.
I'm taking the pants off.
Next song, please.
Needle.
Crucified. 3.
Yes, Miff.
Cheap wine and a 3-day girl.
Are you saying Cheap Wine by Cold Chisel?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep watching and see if you're right.
Day. Growth.
Oh, yes.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Give me the wine.
Wine.
Yes!
All right, next song.
Nag. Good. Fun.
City.
Tonight.
Friday.
Oh, yep.
Friday on my mind.
Let's keep watching.
Mind.
Absolutely, it was Friday on my mind by the Easy Beats. Well done. Would you please thank Jimmy Barnes, Dammy Im, Guy Pearce, John Paul Young, Chris Chaney, Shepherd, Casey Donovan, Greedy Smith, Claire Bowditch, Marsha Hines, Brian Cadd, Hamish Blake, Missy Higgins, Justine Clark, Megan Washington and Guy Sebastian, who all took the time to film themselves saying random words, and Brian Mannix, who just does that anyway. At the end of this round, the scores are Alan, Ricky Lee, Frank, 7 points. Miff, Briggs, Denise, 15 points. Teams have to match 3 Australian musicians to a story about them. And tonight, those musicians are with us in the studio. Miff, your team is first. Your musicians are ARIA-nominated Aussie blues star Ash Grunwald. The winner of 2 Triple J National Indigenous Music Awards, who this year released her debut album Better in Black, Thelma Plum.
Woo!
And Australian conductor, musician and arranger, Ben Northey. You have to match them with one of these 3 stories. Here is your first story. Just before meeting Paul Kelly, this person texted their friend to say how nervous they were, only to realise they had sent the text to Paul Kelly himself.
Oh!
This person was once playing so loudly it prevented the legendary Ray Charles from performing on an adjacent stage.
Oh, you don't want to be that, do you?
Ray had to wait until they finished their set. And the third story, this person was involved in a party on tour in Adelaide that caused the swimming pool of a luxurious hotel in the city to be closed for a week.
Oh. We all know what happened there. That's not good.
And let's be honest, there's only one luxurious hotel in Adelaide, so we know which one it is. All right, which story matches which musician?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a question for you, Benjamin. How raucous are orchestras?
Are they potentially a orchestra? Look, I committed to the bit. Give me that. Okay.
You went all the way.
Whew, I'm exhausted.
In answer to your question, Miff, I would say that, yes, people who think that rock and rollers go hard on the road have never toured with an orchestra.
I just want to know why specifically it was closed for maintenance, the pool.
Can I answer this question?
Yes, you can.
The orchestra left Beethoven's second movement in the shallow end.
I've got a question for Thelma. Have you worked with some of your musical heroes?
Yes, I have. The answer is yes. I don't know why I'm being so... Yes, I have.
I know that Paul McCartney is on your latest album.
He is.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, tell that.
Very
It's amazing.
It is very good. It is cool.
Did that make you nervous?
Yes, it did. It made me very nervous.
Nervous enough to win a pool, perhaps. I like where you're going, Detective Warhurst.
All right, I reckon that Thelma worked with Paul Kelly
The text with Paul
on
Kelly.
her album.
OK, so Thelma, would you like to move behind that podium?
Well, yes, I would.
OK.
See, Ash is the blues man.
Yep.
So is Ray Charles. So I'm going for Ray Charles. It's Ash.
You reckon it's Ash?
Yeah.
All right, Nina reckons it's Ash. All right, we'll go with that.
Interesting
So
choice.
Ben and his mates went down to the pool and trashed the joint. TV out the window, the whole thing.
I reckon.
All right, so is that your final
Are
decision?
you guys happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
stick with that.
Could each artist stand behind the icon that represents their actual story, please? Yes!
Well done.
I have a question. How come you had Paul Kelly's number if you hadn't met him yet?
You wanted to know how to make gravy.
No.
Point of contact.
I did obtain it legally. He gave it to me because we were going to write together that day.
Yes.
Bit of a come down from Paul McCartney, isn't it?
Not for me, though. I grew up, Paul Kelly was my everything growing up, and so I was just, very, very nervous. And
What was the actual text?
my friend had just left, and I went to text her, and I was like, OMFG, I'm going to vomit, but it auto-corrected to omit. And I answers the door, and he's like, oh, are you feeling okay? And I was like, I'm fine, what do you mean? The reason that I was most upset is because, he's my idol, and I was like, I want him to think I'm a poet like him, but instead I'm like this stupid millennial that's like, OMFG.
And she can't spell vomit?
No, I can't.
Ash, where were you playing that drowned out Ray Charles?
That was actually here in Melbourne at the Melbourne Blues Fest in the early noughties, and I was just one-man band, so I was really trying to make a lot of noise, and I thought we were playing at the same time, but he never really started, but that whole time he was saying, get that guy turned down or I'm not going on. No. And so I held the whole thing up whilst thinking I was a lord there, just doing the best I could. I was kind of mortified afterwards, but then I sort of got into it and I was like, Ray was a little intimidated,
Yeah, you would have been so intimidated from that, you probably felt like you wanted to omit.
And finally, I'm assuming we've all got questions for Ben.
Yeah.
I think you're all disgusting, I just wanted to say.
What happened, Ben?
All right. Well, it was back in the year 2000. I was playing in the orchestra for a show called The Ultimate Rock Symphony, which had Alice Cooper and Roger Daltrey and Billy Thorpe and a whole cast of rock legends in it. And we all had a big party on the rooftop pool. And at one point there were many musical instruments in the pool being played, trumpets and trombones. Things got pretty wild.
Oh, wow.
But it was closed because there was some broken glass at the bottom of the pool. So that was a reasonably unlikely orchestra tour story. But a more unlikely story was that I had a tour romance on that tour. And the unlikely part of that, that's not the unlikely part. The unlikely part of that is that we're still together 19 years later. Thank you.
Trashed the joint and got the girl. Rock on.
Would you please thank Thelma Plum, Ash Grunwald and Ben Northey? Alan, your musicians are a young Australian singer, songwriter, producer and drummer who just released her debut studio album About Us, G-Flip.
Yeah.
An opera singer turned cabaret star who created the new Australian opera Lorelei last year, Ali McGregor. And country singer, songwriter and radio host Melinda Schneider. You have to match them to one of these three stories. First story is this. While making out with someone they just met after a gig in San Francisco, this person had their hair catch fire from a candle and almost got smacked in the face as the date tried to put out the fire. Second story. This person was invited to the Playboy Mansion in Los Angeles and was asked by Hugh Hefner, would you like to see my big organ? And by big organ, he actually meant large musical instruments. And number three, while playing a music festival, this person was asked by a drunken fan to sign his private parts and quickly came up with an excuse not to. Do you know what? They're all Brian. Can you match the story to the musician, please?
So we've got two of these stories take place in the States.
Yes. So, G-Flip, you were drumming with a band that went on an American tour, didn't you?
Yes, I've done that.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Is the Playboy Mansion, do they still do the regular parties? I heard they've kind of...
Isn't he dead?
Well, yeah, but I think...
There's no better reason for normal parties to not happen than the host is dead.
He's not there anymore.
But he's still in the spa pool. That's how they're keeping it.
The ghost...
It's just at a perfect temperature where he's just completely preserved.
Weekend
and people
at
get in and they go,
Bernie's.
"Oh, move over, Hugh."
Just weekend at Bernie's, so just floating around.
This was an interaction with Hugh Hefner.
Yes.
So that was a while ago. So I think the Hugh Hefner has to be either Melinda or Ali, because I think G-Flip is too young. How long ago did he die?
2017 he died. Should have seen what they did on the street out the front of his house.
So let's get back on track.
The same guy's car was parked there. It was so awkward.
We've got an interaction with Hugh Hefner.
Yes.
We've got someone asking someone to sign their private parts.
Yes, which could be any of them. The cabaret mob, you know what they're like. They are out there. I want to hone in on the dates where someone's hair caught fire.
Yeah.
Is anyone single in the group? Hands up who is single. Is anyone single? No, OK. OK, I'm out. I got another one. Hands up who's been to the Playboy Mansion.
So, I'm imagining someone with long hair's hair caught on fire.
I think that was G-Flip.
Yep.
Sure, OK.
Do you want to move G-Flip behind the wig?
Yeah, let's do that for now.
As a
Let's
reminder?
Yes,
OK.
yes, great.
OK.
Now I presume the banana and the slim.
And that happened at a music festival.
I think it's Melinda.
I think it is too.
Country music fans are bonkers.
Are country music fans bonkers, Melinda?
They can be after a few Bundys, yeah.
I think Melinda has to stand behind that banana.
I'd love to.
So we're saying Ali has been to the Playboy Mansion.
Swapping.
Yep.
OK.
All right. Would each musician please stand behind the correct thing that represents their story?
I've got to hear this story. The Playboy Mansion, Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, so I was invited to go and sing with the Pasadena Pops in LA, and Michael Feinstein, the artistic director.
Yes.
We had a dinner. He invited Gene Kelly's widow, Patricia, along, and she in turn invited us to the Playboy Mansion, and we had this weirdly intimate evening where we watched film noir with Hair Finney's robe and three of his girlfriends, and Gene Kelly's widow and the man who created Baywatch. And we watched a movie and ate popcorn, and then he led us around and showed us his massive organ, which was a church organ next to the film room, of course. And it was a really odd night. We had a photo with him.
Did you? Did you see the infamous grotto?
We went in the grotto, and the grotto's the best. It's like, you know, in the 70s when you went to the cool friend who had a pool's house and they had, like, all the kind of brown and orange towels and all the sun cream. It looked like something from the 70s.
I hear
like
those towels were originally white.
Is it not also true that a couple of days later you took your daughter to the Playboy Mansion to see Hugh Hefner's private zoo?
Yes, she was 2.
I mean, what kind of parent?
Who would
Would take their children to the Playboy Mansion. For those of you playing at home, yes, Ali and I are married and we did take our daughter to the Playboy Mansion when she was 2. And the last thing I said to her as she left was, I never want to see you in this place ever again. And I said that to our daughter as well. Does anyone have questions for G Flip?
Yeah, tell us the story. So,
and
it was your hair that caught fire?
Yeah. This side. The shorter side.
So was it recent?
No, it wasn't. I just haven't cut my hair in a very long time.
How quickly did it go up? Hair is surprisingly flammable.
Well, I was actually occupied at the time.
Nice.
It was a very hot patch.
Apparently so.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember seeing a light in the corner of my eye. And the girl I was kissing screamed, and then she put it out with her forearm.
So when she screamed, were you like, I am doing well tonight?
Now, Melinda.
Cool story.
Yes, Alan.
So many questions. I think you know what all of them are.
I was at the Denny Ute Muster. And
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Anything happens at Denny.
The defence rests, Your Honour.
The guy came up to me very drunk at the merch table afterwards where I was signing and said, can you sign my penis, please? And I said, I'm terribly sorry, sir. Schneider's a very long name. The poor guy was so dejected. He walked away really dejected. He must have felt about that big. Terrible.
Would you please thank Ali McGregor, G Flip and Melinda Schneider? After that round, Alan, Missy, Rove are on 11 points. Miff, Brian, Nina are 14 points. Each team will be given a list of 10 songs. You need to match them to the year they were released. Alan's team, you're first. Alan, you will be ordering the songs. Would you like to make your way up to the board, please?
Yes.
Your songs are Believe by Cher, Calypso by Spiderbait, Candle in the Wind, Elton John, Creep by Radiohead, Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio, I Want It That Way, Backstreet Boys, I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston, Read My Lips, Melissa Couts, Supersonic by Oasis, and Unbelievable by EMF. Your team can shout out and help. You've got 60 seconds. Your time starts now.
OK, so when did Princess Diana die?
1997.
1997. So I reckon Candle in the Wind is 1997.
These are Australian releases, I should point out.
I reckon Creep is 92.
Unbelievable down the bottom by EMF. I'm sure that came out when I did my HSC, which was 91.
OK, 91. I think Supersonic's 93 because...
Gangsta's Paradise must have been... Mate, let's do 98.
Let's do 98.
You would know, it's your single.
Now, wait a minute, what have we got here?
We've got Calypso.
Cram, when did you have a very good financial year?
Wrong.
I reckon Calypso's there and Believe is 99.
Let's do 99.
Let's review.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
That reads well.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say no points whatsoever.
Are you not feeling confident about any of these?
Not about anything ever, Adam, but particularly not about this.
OK, Read My Lips by Melissa Couts should have been in 1991. Unbelievable should have been in 1990. So the next one there should have been I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston.
I didn't even see that one.
That's the Creep should have been there.
Oh, this is a disaster.
Yeah, it's not going well.
No.
Supersonic should have been there.
Is my prediction coming true, Adam?
Yeah, pretty much. Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio should have been in 1995. Do you mind?
This is like being at the airport watching all the departures change.
Oh, yeah.
Candle in the Wind was in the right spot.
Well done, Alan.
Thank you, Lady Diana.
Believe by Cher should have been there, and I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys should have been at the bottom. You got one right, Alan Brough. You got one right. The only one you got right was Candle in the Wind by Elton John. Very appropriate that was the only song you got, because that whole thing was a car crash. Alan, you may be seated.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Miff, you're going to be ordering the songs for your team. Would you like to make your way down to the board?
This is
terrifying.
Your songs are Alive by Pearl Jam, Anthem for the Year 2000 Silverchair, Freedom, George Michael, Girls and Boys, Blur, Killing in the Name, Rage Against the Machine, Killing Me Softly, The Fugees, Pretty Fly for a White Guy, Offspring, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana, Sorrento Moon by Tina Arena, Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. 60 seconds. Your time starts now.
Okay, Freedom's 90,
Yeah.
I reckon.
I reckon Alive.
Yeah,
Who was that?
Alive.
Pearl Jam?
Yeah.
90. Hang on,
I'd say
hang on.
5.
Smells Like Teen Spirit. Is that 91 or 92? 91?
91.
91. OK, I'll take this one for you.
Yeah.
I reckon that's 99.
OK.
I think Tub Thumping's 98 because
98?
before the World Cup.
Ooh, 97.
97 for Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look at Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Killing in the name of...
15 seconds.
What's that one?
Alive, 92.
9.
Swap those two, Girls and Boys, and Alive. You reckon?
yeah.
I don't even know why, just do it.
Yes. yeah.
I think you've done well.
Yeah.
Well, before
No,
we kick...
don't. I can tell by your face it's really bad.
Well, first of all, this is rigged because Miff used to be on Triple J during this time, putting these new releases to air.
Yep.
That's straight away an unfair advantage.
No,
I just
He
want to
also
not
couldn't
true.
reach the top 3.
Exactly.
Right. Freedom by George Michael was released in 1990.
Yes. We're coming back.
Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana was released in Australia in 1992.
But it came out
about America.
Yeah.
Which Alive by Pearl Jam should have been 1991. Killing in the Name should have been 1993. So far you've got one right.
Oh, I know this feeling.
Then it was... 94 was Girls and Boys. Sorrento Moon should have been 1995.
I had no idea. Couldn't help you there, man.
This is too much.
We just need one more.
And Killing Me Softly should have been in 1996.
Oh,
so that was all going horribly wrong.
This is so hard.
When one goes wrong, they all go wrong.
Tub Thumping should have been 1996.
Because it was
Pretty Fly
before
for
the
a White
World
Guy
Cup.
should have been down there. Which means Anthem for the Year 2000 by Silverchair is correct. You got 2! So, you're making a comeback, but really slowly. At the end of that round, Miff, Cram, Anne are on 6 points. Al and Tina, Tom, 15 points. Each team will be shown 2 song lyrics. One is from a real 90s song. The other has been written for this game by the opposing team captain. You have to identify which one is the real lyric. The first set of lyrics are to your team, Miff, and were written by either the mopey old lead singer of the Smiths, Morrissey, or the mopey old team captain pretending to be Morrissey, Alan Brough. All right, which one of these is the real lyric? Number 1, a man who slits throats has time on his hands and I'm going to get you, so don't close your eyes. Or, heartbreak in a hatchback with a local boy done well, back seat and a backache, his first car, that special smell.
That special smell. Now, is that something that Alan would come up with or Morrissey?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I might be wrong, but are hatchbacks particularly Australian?
Ooh. Like I think you're onto something there.
But
OK.
But Alan's also got a dark heart and a sinister mind, and he's told me before the show a couple of people he wants to kill. So,
I told you that in confidence, Anne.
Which one do you think is the real Morrissey lyric?
I think the real Morrissey lyric is A.
You think it's A? OK, we'll go with A.
Lock in A.
The correct Morrissey lyric is A.
Yeah!
The first set of lyrics were by Morrissey from his song Sorrow Will Come in the End. The second set were by Alan from his song Pretty Fly for a Hyundai.
Very good. Very good.
Alan's team. Which lyrics were written by the English singer, composer and poet PJ Harvey, and which were written by the Australian drinker, dancer and occasional pub brawler Miff Warhurst? OK, here's the first one. Where has the little girl gone with her ribbons and coloured laces? She lives within me in those dark, unreachable places. Or, night or day, rain or shine, looks at her shape, not at mine. I'm not complaining, I think it's neat. Yeah, he can play with his machine.
They're both great.
They are both great.
Get this one, you guys.
Yeah. PJ Harvey does have a darkness and a self-investigation to her lyrics.
I feel like I can remember her singing those lyrics in A, which if Miff wrote them, that is well done. Because it means she's really gotten into my head.
It's tough, I mean, but I suppose it's meant to be tough, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm favouring A, but after that debacle before, I don't want to really stake my life on it.
OK, well then we're going to go with A.
So you're going to say A are the real lyrics?
A are the real lyrics.
Absolutely.
No. The real lyrics were from M-Bike by PJ Harvey. The first lyrics were written by Miff Warhurst. They were from her song Things I've Texted Hilsey at 2 a.m. I mean, that is remarkable that you actually thought you've heard PJ Harvey sing those lyrics.
Yeah, I know, but I think Miff sang it to me late at night.
Well, it was the 90s. It could have happened.
All right, Miff. Are these lyrics from New York hip-hop crew Wu-Tang Clan or New Zealand's hip-hop recipient Alan Brough? Out of the island, statin to you, we take a baton to you. If you happen to step to me and my crew, the RZA, the Dizzer, the Ghostface Killer. Or, cock back my tongue like a hammer, my head is like a nickel-plated bammer, spit 45 calibre grammar.
Oh, those boys. Well, the first one's got all the names of the Wu-Tang Clan, so that makes sense.
But I think he's into grammar.
Yeah.
He's a grammar man from way back.
I'm feeling it. That's Alan.
Should we go with our guts, though?
I reckon go with the guts.
Which is?
That Alan wrote.
Cock back my tongue like a hammer. My head is like a nickel-plated bammer. Spit 45 calibre grammar.
The correct lyrics written by Wu-Tang Clan were the second ones. The second one was from Deadly Melody by the Wu-Tang Clan. The first lot of lyrics were by Alan Brough from his song Woo Let the Dogs Out.
And I just, it was Jizzer, there's no Dizzer.
Of course, because this is Daisy, your daughter.
Yeah, this is what I call my daughter.
Alan's team. Are these lyrics from the woman who combines rap with R&B, Missy Elliott, or the woman who combines Coca-Cola with JD, Miff Warhurst? Here are your options.
It's a lot of drinking and fighting.
They say I'm just too fly. I make them want to get high. They want a piece of this pie, but I'm just too damn chill for them. Or, getting fly, staying high, it my music make me try. Now he take me where it hot, now he's selling what he got.
It's like choosing between Lennon and McCartney. You know, it's just, they're both amazing.
I think it's B because there's a lot of dropping the G's off things, and I think that that's meant to make us think that that's how it would flow when she was doing it. So I think A is the actual Missy Elliott lyric.
Right.
Okay. I'm just going to follow your lead because Miff has just gotten into my head and she's really scrambled my thoughts.
I'm going to follow you because I'm not really familiar with that track, so...
So, from a state of almost complete ambivalence, Adam, which I think is important sometimes in a show with a quiz element, we're going to say that the Missy Elliott lyrics are lyric A, therefore the Miff lyrics are lyric B.
Absolutely correct.
It was the G's. It was the dropping the G's.
Trying too hard.
The first lyrics were by Missy Elliott from They Don't Wanna With Me. The second were by Miffy Elliott from her song Me in the While You're Up My...
No, that's the name of my novel.
I mean, I don't know why I beat those. It was Meet Me in the Kitchen While You're Heating Up My Dinner. But nevertheless... at the end of that round, Miff, Cram and Anna on 7 points. Alan, Tina, Tom, 16 points. Our next round tonight is a 2000s version of the old classic Malvern Stars on 45, in which one team member powered a record player by riding a bike. This one, though, is called Fitness on Shuffle. A guest fitness fanatic will control this iPod using that cross-trainer. Their team must correctly identify each song that plays. Now, to make things harder, the songs have all been downloaded at different speeds. Alan, your team is first. Would you please welcome our 2000s fitness fanatics, Kate McLennan and Kate McCartney?
I don't know what we're wearing. Are these some kind of like Paris Hilton hand-me-downs?
I know. Well, they smell
They
something.
do smell. What is that smell?
It's Rob Mills.
Rob Mills.
Not good.
All right. Which one of you would like to ride first?
I tell you what, we had a look at the internet and we reckon we're going to try and do it ourselves together. Yeah.
Oh,
We're going to give it a go. We saw some twins do it, and we reckon we can do it. All right, so you go.
Oh, my God.
All right, you go.
I believe in you.
All right, I'm going to go one foot.
no.
Ready? Go. Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay, right.
All right.
This is for Alan's team.
Just engage your core, mate. Engage your core.
I don't think I have one.
Just shout out when you know the name of it. Go.
Yes, I've been black when I come back.
Rehab by
Rehab by Amy Winehouse. Correct. Next song.
Somebody went a little faster. Slow down.
Slow down.
Macy Gray.
I try.
Just try.
Yes, next song.
To your side.
You're cross-watching. God, I feel like a drag out.
Bit faster. Straight line, Silverchair. Next song.
Slow. MGMT.
Yes, Electric Feel MGMT. Next song.
Well done, guys.
Faster.
Can you get my hair out of my mouth?
A bit faster. Fast. It was beautiful Christina Aguilera. You got 4 correct. You've got to do it again for Miss Team.
Oh, my fudge. I mean, first we hear that we're not on the panel, and now this.
All right, OK. Miff, your songs are queued up. Kate, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Here we go. Born ready.
Okay,
amazing.
take it away. Go. First song.
Are we going backwards? No, wrong way.
Still going backwards. Well, it doesn't work if you go backwards.
What's
What's the song though?
Seven Nation Army.
Seven Nation Army, White Stripes. Next song. Slow it down. Get the Party Started by Pink. Correct. Next song.
No, okay.
Faster.
Very slow. You haven't done anything.
I bet you look good on the dance floor.
Bet you look good on the dance floor. Arctic Monkeys. Next song.
Try to kill it.
Maybe slower. Hurt.
Hurt by Johnny Cash. Correct. Next song. Faster.
I need a beat.
Maybe faster, please. Faster. Yes,
Since you've been gone.
Since you've been gone, Kelly Clarkson. That's the end of it all. Would you please say Kate McLennan and Kate McCartney? All right, at the end of that round, the scores are Miff, Nick, Sarah, 18 points. Alan, Ella, Joel, still in front, 20 points. Our next round tonight is called Art for Art's Sake. Teams have to identify the 2000-era musician from a piece of fan art drawn by an admirer and posted online.
Oh, God. Is there another word for that kind of art?
Is there another word for fan art?
Is it fart? Is it not fart?
Yes. Have a look at these classic farts. If you know who they are, buzz in.
How do we buzz in?
If you don't get them straight away, I will give you a clue to help. Here is your first drawing. Myth.
That has to be Eminem.
Absolutely correct. That is Eminem.
I recognise that fight anyway.
All right. Here's your second one. Yes, Alan's side.
Nicki Minaj.
It's Nicki Minaj. All right, next drawing.
Whoa.
Is that you? Oh no, that was Alan's side.
That's...
Wow, that's really
It came to me straight
distressing.
away and now it's left me almost straight away.
The tattoos, okay, they've got tattoos.
Oh, there's an X on his
And the
arm.
shaved
Henry Rollins.
Oh. It's not Henry Rollins. Do you guys want to have a guess? I've got clues.
Have you got clues? Give us some clues.
Okay. It looks like it was drawn by a baby. Baby, baby, ooh. Yes.
Justin Bieber.
It is Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Take a dinner plate and just go, well, his head's round. And the fingers. What's going on with this weird...
Right. Here's your next one. Both teams.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, Nick?
That's a actually better version of the real me.
That is Nick Sessa.
I would watch that cartoon.
I didn't know you were in Pokemon.
Neither did I.
That's cool.
All right, here's the next one.
Oh, it's Lady Gaga.
It is Lady Gaga.
Whoa.
All right, two more. Who is this? Yes.
That's me.
That is indeed Ella Hooper. What I love is they've tried to draw hoops on your necklace.
Yeah.
They do not look like hoops. Final drawing. Who is this?
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
Is it me?
No.
It looks more like me.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm happy to say it is not you before first. Okay, do you want a clue?
Yes, please.
In a way, it looks like the person has been hit by a wrecking ball.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Go on.
Miley Cyrus.
It is Miley Cyrus. All right.
Just imagine the attic that the person was
At the end of that round, the scores are Miff, Nick, Sarah on 21 points. Alan, Ella, Joel in front, 24 points. Each team will be presented with a lineup of 5 celebrity musicians. You have to rank those musicians in a certain order. Miff, your musicians are one of Australia's best-known singers, Kate Ceberano, from 90s Aussie punk band Frenzal Rom, Lindsay McDougall, from much-loved folk pop band Frente, it's Angie Hart, from the alternative rock band Eskimo Joe, Cab Temperley, and from everybody's favourite children's group, The Wiggles, it's Murray Cook. You have to rank them by the number of weeks their most successful album spent in the Australian charts from lowest to highest.
Got it.
Now, your roadies are going to help shift your team into place. That's Dave, Cal and Luke.
I feel like the Wiggles would have to be
Yeah, you
right at the
guys
top of
run
something
the
like
game.
that.
Yeah.
But do they chart?
Yeah, no doubt.
Nah.
It's all illegal downloads, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
The kids are on Napster or Nappyster, which is called for the kids.
But people just keep making their audience for them. It's ridiculous.
I feel like Murray needs to head up to the top.
Yes.
So if we can pop Murray, maybe not at the top.
I went to a Wiggles concert once and Murray did some, like, stage diving and it was horrific.
Wake up, Jeff! Wake up!
All right, I think Eskimo Joe and also Angie and Frente.
Yeah, that's
Huge. Elephant in the room. Lindsay. Dog.
We love you, Lindsay, but you're going to the bottom, mate.
You get the bus to Sydney. Thanks, mate.
Has anyone, like, released a song, a demo tape? You could probably go here somewhere.
I was in a band in the 80s, so I reckon Murray's going to go to the far right.
Top?
Yeah.
Cav, maybe Angie Switch, maybe.
Yeah, Eskimo Joe, they killed it.
They were huge.
Yeah, that's...
I haven't helped yet, so if you want to do just one more...
OK, is that your final order?
I reckon... Were you happy with that?
Yes,
We're happy with that.
I'm not happy with anything about it. But I'm prepared to go with that. And
Yeah.
Lindsay, you've got a terrific personality.
OK, I can tell you one of those people is in the right position. And that person is... Kate Sobrano. Now, I'm gonna put you in the order that you... Kate, stay where you are. Brave was in the charts for 38 weeks. Angie, can you go after Kate, please? Because Marvin, the album by Frente, was 15 weeks in the charts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Have Eskimo Joe's Black Fingernails Red Wine was 51 weeks in the chart. You go to the top of the line. Murray, the Wiggles album that spent the most in the charts that you were a Wiggle for...
Technicalities, goddammit!
Yeah.
I knew it.
...was Nursery Rhymes 7 weeks. You are at the end of the line. Which means Lindsay McDougall... Frenzel Rom's album Man's Not a Camel was in the charts for 9 weeks. You're one up from the Wiggles! So that is the official lineup of selling albums for the chart. Would you please thank Kate Sobrano, Angie Hart, Murray Cook, Pat Tremblay and Lindsay McDougall! All right, Alan, your lineup is... From Sydney-based indie pop rockers The Preachers, Izzy Manfredi. From Queensland, the classically trained alt-pop princess Kate Miller-Heidke. From Melbourne legends Mondo Rock, Ross Wilson. From Geelong rockers Magic Dirt, Adelita. And from who knows where, it's radio star Guido Hatzis. Your team have to rank these musicians by the number of ARIA nominations and awards each has received.
So,
Nominations and awards.
And awards.
Whoa.
OK. I think that while Mondo Rock and etc. were incredibly important in Australia, I don't know if the ARIAs were such a big thing when they were at their zenith.
Were they around when you started?
You know, I would have had more awards, but ARIAs weren't going when Daddy Cool was around. You see.
Unfortunately, I think you have to go down the end.
I feel very sad because I spent quite a few hours in my youth dancing like you.
Yeah.
Just going...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
Kate sung across a number of genres and also co-wrote the music for Muriel's Wedding, the musical. Bizarrely, I think that Guido Hatzis, who has been going for quite a long time, probably received a lot of ARIA nominations. I know that seems unfair and bizarre, but I think Guido's up the top.
Yeah, mate, where I belong.
Guido, you're up the top.
Guido up the top.
And then Kate, I think.
Then Kate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone in the audience just said Luke's not doing any work, and I didn't appreciate that. Even though you are technically correct.
Were you triggered, Luke?
And I quite like it that way.
OK, well, let's go with that.
OK, that is your decision. I can tell you have one correct.
Oh!
Damn.
And that one is...
Guido!
No.
Holy
no,
shit.
it's Izzy. Oh. I need Adelita to second place, please. Ross, if you can go up into second from the bottom. And Guido, can you swap with Kate, please?
Sorry,
So, Kate.
We were wrong, and I'm so glad.
Kate, 15 nominations you have had. 15 nominations. But no wins. Is that what's driving you? Do you keep...
Yeah, I'm a multi-ARIA award loser.
Adelita, 10 nominations. Izzy, 6 nominations. Ross, 2 nominations and 2 Hall of Fame awards. Yeah. So, Guido, I can't believe I'm saying this, the only person up there to have been nominated and won an award is you. Would you please thank Izzy Manfredi, Kate Miller-Heidke, Adelita, Ross Wilson and Guido Hatzis. It's also time for our roadies to lug out for the last time tonight. Have you enjoyed your roles as roadies tonight? You happy?
I've loved it. What people don't realise is that Ross Wilson is actually my dad.
Carl Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Not many people know that, including Ross Wilson.
Louis, could this be a new career for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like comedy, but carrying around musical equipment is my real passion.
And Dave, I've chatted to the producers. You can keep the outfit.
Oh, cool!
Would you please thank Dave O'Neill, Carl Wilson and Luke McGregor. All right, at the end of that round, Alan, Ricky Lee, Frank are on 11 points. Miff, Briggs, Denise are still out in front by 5, 16. Round 5 tonight is called Story of My Life. One very special guest is going to read excerpts from a famous musical autobiography. Teams have to identify the author. Now, if you guess the author after the first excerpt, you get 3 points. After the second one, you get 2. If it takes you 3 goes, you only get 1 point. To read for us tonight, would you please welcome bon vivant, raconteur and all-round faux pas, Sir Robert Franklin. The first book is for Alan's team. Sir Robert, take it away.
That night, the TV people put me up in a beautiful hotel. The first time in my life I'd experienced such luxury. But I knew that for 5 days, I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. No one in history had been signed up live on air on New Faces.
Signed up live on air on what?
On New Faces. New Faces was basically a talent show, wasn't it? Where you saw new performers.
Yes. And Bert Newton hosted it.
Could it be John Farnham?
It was probably Johnny Farnham back then.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Farnham.
I feel like Olivia Newton-John maybe came through New Faces as well.
Do they both have biographies out? Do we know?
Oh, yeah, John Farnham puts out a different biography every year. Yeah. We're going to go with...
John Farnham.
Oh! We're going with John Farnham.
It is not John Farnham.
Okay. Keep going.
All right, so Robert, could you read the next excerpt, please?
We were out shopping in Toys R Us for the kids one day, and she dashed up to an aisle full of Barbie dolls. "This is what I want our wedding to be like," she screamed, reaching for a Barbie and Ken horse and carriage set.
No. This is tough.
Wait a minute.
Well, here we go.
Now I want to say, was it Patty Newton? Because Bert met her on New Faces when he was hosting. It was like a royal wedding in this country when it happened. It was massive.
Are you going to go with Patty Newton?
Okay, say Patty Newton.
It's not Patty Newton. So, Robert, can you read the final excerpt, please?
No one took me seriously. They called me the singing abdominal. Then the doll came out, and what little credibility I had was shot to pieces. It didn't help that on the back of the box it said, "Not suitable for children under 36 months due to small parts."
Well, certainly wasn't Brian Mannix.
So I still think it's Patty Newton. But I think I know who it is.
Oh,
The
yes,
abs.
please.
The abs. There's only one guy who could have abs like that.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to
look.
count to 3 and I want you all to say it together.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Peter Andre.
Yes, it's Peter Andre. In fact, it's not just Peter Andre, it is this book, the Peter Andre book, All About Us, My Story.
Oh.
Here's an amazing fact. Peter Andre has actually released 3 books, and from what I've told, has even read one of them.
Wow.
I've heard a weird fact about Peter Andre is that he doesn't wear fake tan. He just bathes in a bath of Coke, like Coca-Cola.
What?
And then he comes out and he's got like that orange glow.
It's the real thing.
Yeah.
I love things like that because the big question always with that is, how do you find that out? Like, how do you accidentally sit in Coke and get up and go, "This is amazing"? And does the Diet Coke one make you look tanned and slimmer?
And at least now we know Peter Andre definitely not made of Mentos. All right, Miff, here is your book. So, Robert, would you please read the first excerpt of this musical autobiography?
Of course, taking one's clothes off in front of a group of relative strangers was not the easiest thing I've ever done. It was such fun finding all the great locations to get the best and coolest shots that we could. And I found the nudity surprisingly and wonderfully liberating.
Patty Newton.
Any ideas? Any ideas?
Nude Australian musician.
Danny Minogue?
Sorry?
Danny Minogue.
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Or from nude Australian musician?
Well,
You've
she
gone
did
with
the penthouse thing.
Do you want to say Danny Minogue as your first guess?
Danny Minogue.
Danny Minogue.
I'm worried what you're reaching for under the desk.
Just the news, wasn't it?
Let me tell you what I think happened here. I think the producers of this show went, what's going to be an obscure part of the book that won't give away who she is? We're just going to mention nude. No one will get it from that. And then they forgot that Brian Mannix was on the panel and you just went, oh, nude, yep, Danny Minogue. Yeah. Not only that, you named the magazine.
Had a blue cover. It was a terrific shoot. She came out really well. Well done, Danny.
Oh, no.
She'll do another one.
Now, look, while we are talking about books, Rove, you and Brian do have something in common. Brian, you recently released your autobiography called 50 Years.
Yep.
Rove, you released your autobiography called Disgusting McGrossface.
I did, indeed.
I'm assuming it was an autobiography. I've not read it.
No, I have two children's books. One is called Disgusting McGrossface. The other is music-based. He's a performing lobster boy called Rocky Lobster. And I did the drawings for that as well.
Wow. Did you?
Yeah. I wrote it and done the pictures. And there is a centrefold. Yeah. Brian, you'll be pleased.
Oh, right. I think I've also got Brian's book down here as well. Brian Mannix, 50
That's
years.
a lot thicker.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I drew some pictures in that too.
Wow, some great pictures in it as well.
Is that a sentence?
Oh, it's terrific. And I found the nudity totally liberating.
So after that round, Alan, Missy, Rover on 13 points. Smith, Brian, Nina still in front, 21 points. Teams, hands on your buzzers. 1 point for a correct answer, 1 point off for a wrong answer. Your questions start now. The East Coast versus West Coast rivalry concerned the feud between Tupac
Biggie Smalls.
and Biggie Smalls. The satirical song I Don't Like It was by Pauline...
Pants Down.
Pants Down. The theme to which TV show peaked at number 3 on the ARIA charts in October 1996? Yes. Doctor Who? Friends. It was the Rembrandts, I'll Be There For You. Which Aussie band declared, I'd rather dance in ugly pants in the comfort of a lounge room in suburbia?
Regurgitator.
Regurgitator. Jock Cheese, Humphrey B. Flaubert and Ron... Yes?
Tism.
Ron Hitler Barassi were members of which Australian group? Tism. The name of which album was inspired by Green Day's experience with...
It's not Dookie, it's the other one, America, the one with...
American Idiot.
American Idiot.
The rest of the question was, which album was inspired by Green Day's experience of getting diarrhea on tour? It was Dookie. They originally wanted to call it Liquid Dookie, if that helps. What kind of tap dancing insect features in the film clip for Blind Melon's No Rain?
Oh.
Yes.
A bee.
A bee.
Yes!
I got one.
True or false? Mbop singers Hanson now sell a beer called Hops.
True.
True, absolutely true. What 90s dance craze did treasurer Peter Costello famously...
The Macarena.
With Kerry Ann Kennelly on the Midday Show, the Macarena. Have a listen to this, name the song.
In your hair, in your hair.
Zombie.
Zombie by the Cranberries.
Zombie by the Cranberries. Which film director choreographs the flash mob in Fatboy Slim's...
Spike Jones.
Yes. Which rapper's real name is Marshall Bruce Mathers?
Eminem.
The third, Eminem. Things of Stone and Wood sang Happy Birthday...
Helen.
To Helen. Your final question. Approximately 6 billion people were referenced in which song by Vanessa Amorosi?
Absolutely everybody.
Absolutely everybody. At the end of tonight's show, the final scores are Miff, Cram, Anne ended up on 21 points. Alan, Tina, Tom, 23 points. Would you please thank tonight's guests, Tina Arena, Tom Gleeson, Cram and Anne Edmonds. And our special guests, Scott Edgar, Dave O'Neill and Denise Scott. And of course, our two team captains, Alan Brough and Miff Warhurst.